My next guest takes on Emily Whitmire coming up here at UFC 226 on July 7th. It is Jamie Moyle joining me here on the program for the very first time. Jamie, how are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Thank you.
No
Thanks for
problem.
having me.
I bet you're doing well. I know you just finished up a massage, an RMT. How was that today?
It was amazing. I had a 90-minute massage and the lady went 30 minutes over, and that's great for my body, just taking care of my body and staying ready for this fight, staying healthy.
That's great. What are sort of your go-tos for recovery? We often talk times about, a fighter's training camp, but we never talk about the recovery aspect of it.
Um, I try to get as much recovery as possible because I like to do 2 and 3 days. So my schedule gets pretty intense. I like to get massages once a week. I try to. I didn't do it as much this camp, but I do like to do that. I do things like salt baths, cold plunges, and just good old fashioned, just like rest. If I feel like a day where after practice I'm just totally dead, I'll just take the rest of the day off and just feel my body out.
That's great. Good to hear that. It's been a while since we've seen you in the cage. I know you were supposed to fight at UFC 220, but you had an injury that forced you off the card. What exactly happened for those who don't know, and how long was the recovery time?
So what happened was I sleep on my couch and I have like little meditation pillows on the floor, and I had my phone plugged in my kitchen and my alarm went off. So I'm walking in the dark to go turn my alarm off, and I stepped on like this like big thick meditation pillow and my ankle just rolled over and it just like popped. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But after a month I was able to like walk and run and do everything like that. And it just took another month and a half, I would say, to really just heal it. And I have a really phenomenal strength and conditioning coach. His name is Russ, and he's also, um, I guess you could say, like a physical therapist. He did a lot of work on it and gave me some strengthening exercises. So it's 100% now, and everything's great. So.
Why do you sleep on your couch, just out of curiosity?
Um, because I moved out here to Sac and I live by myself, and for some reason I was like creeped out to go sleep in my bedroom, so I was like just comfortable watching TV and then I would just fall asleep on the couch. I don't know. It was
Do
weird.
you still sleep on the couch now, or have you graduated to a bed now?
I have graduated to my bed. This is
Good
my
stuff. There
room.
we go. Okay, we yeah, because
Yeah.
we needed the proof here. Because obviously, you tell a story like that, we need to see there's some advancement here. So
Yes, I've graduated.
that's good. Okay, well that's interesting. Like I said, it has been a bit of a layoff. For those who don't get to see you in the gym every day, what would you say you've improved on the most since the last time we saw you?
Um, what have I improved on the most? Just putting everything together, honestly, and holding myself to like a higher standard with everything that I do. So my striking, my training regimen just as a whole is more intense. I have better I would say more technique, more technical striking, more just like the practices at Team Alpha Male, everything is geared towards being a champion. So you're always in this like intensity mindset, and everything every day of training is training like you're training to fight the best person in the world. So that's just really elevated my game, just being in that mindset. And I've also been working with my new boxing coach. His name is Joey Rodriguez. He corners a lot of the Team Alpha Male guys, and I never really had boxing like that before, so he's really sharpening up my hands and tightening up my boxing, and that's definitely I've made some big gains there, I would say.
Let's talk about Emily Whitmire, your opponent. She's got a 2-2 record, a fellow Ultimate Fighter contestant. How do you feel like you match up against her here?
I feel really great about this matchup. We're both coming off a loss, and I think we're both going to be really hungry, and I think it's going to be a really great fight. Um, I'm more prepared for this fight than I've ever been for any fight, and I'm at the best, highest level that I've ever been. And I think we're both sort of the type of fighters that like to mix it up, and we're kind of both a little bit, we're both well-rounded. But I think my new skill set and my new mindset and just everything that I've been working on is really gonna is shine for me in this fight.
And you talked about training at Team Alpha Male. What initially brought you out there? Like, what was the connection? How were you able to go out and train at Team Alpha Male?
I was kind of just looking for a new gym to kind of just expand my game and my knowledge and everything. And there was a couple I had in mind that I wanted to try out. I wanted to try out Jackson Winks, and I wanted to try out Alliance. But I just took a trip out here to Sac, and my dad kind of helped me out with the process and set me up in a nice hotel. And I went and trained at the gym for a week. And I actually met Cynthia like one of the first days.
Oh, cool. Calvio, nice.
Yeah, one of the first days I walked in, and she walked right up to me and was like, "Oh, hey, Jamie Moyle," and she was just so cool. And we ended up like going to the river and just hanging out and everything. So it was really cool, and I just really vibed with the team and just kind of became good friends with her right off the bat, and it just felt right. So I never even went and tried any other gyms. I just kind of decided to just go for it.
That's very cool. I like that. So, along with Cynthia, who are some of the other training partners you get to work with at Team Alpha Male?
Um, so many good training partners. There's so many UFC fighters at Team Alpha Male, but most of them are men, and most of them are like 35ers and 45ers. So I don't really train with them too much. But there's a couple amateur girls out here that are really great, and some of the pro am guys, like some of the amateur experienced guys, and some of the newly pro guys. I go with a lot. I don't think you would really like know any of them, but
Well, throw out one name at least, because I always like hearing about up and comers, because these are people we could see in the UFC in the future. Or is it one of those things you only know them by like a first name basis? That happens too.
No, I do know. Man, to be honest, there's so many people. But I do train. I do like to partner with the women a lot because I think it's very different, and a lot of the men don't know what it's like to be a woman in sport. So I have a friend, Alyssa Palin. She's still an amateur, but she is on the rise, and I'm sure she'll one day, if she keeps going, she'll make it. But yeah, there's like I said, it's a huge gym, and there's a ton of guys, and then there's a ton of training partners that I have all the time. So it's just everybody's a monster at that gym.
Yeah, and like we'd literally be here for hours if we named off every one of your training partners, because I know Alpha Male is like a huge gym as far as like the bodies in there, right? So
Yeah, it is.
crazy. How's the weight cut going? This fight's a couple weeks away, but I imagine that process has already started.
Yeah, I always eat healthy like 6 to 8 weeks before my fights. Weight cut's going good. I've been staying on track. Feeling great, feeling strong, and just feeling really, really fit. So, weight's coming off nicely, and I'm making my way to 115.
How do you see this fight playing out on July 7th?
Um, I see this fight playing out uh, with me getting my hand raised.
Well, I figured that much because you signed the POT agreement, but I mean, like, how do you see it unfolding between you and Emily? Obviously, you guys are both well versed as far as your skill set, but how do you see this, playing out, so to speak?
I see me going in there super focused and landing some really hard punches. Like I said, I've been working my boxing, so I'm gonna get in her face, and I'm gonna test her and test her will, and land some hard punches, see where it goes from there. And if I see takedowns, I'll take the takedowns. But I see me going in there and throwing some really heavy hands, maybe some head kicks.
What's next for you after this? I know you're not looking past Emily here, but are you looking for a quick turnaround just with the fact you took so much time off, or you just sort of taking it from fight to fight?
I'm definitely looking to stay active now. Like, my last fight was like a year ago, and the fight before that there was some time in between that and the fight before that too. So, I'm ready to like make my mark in this fight and rise up and get a bunch of fights, stay active, and get in that top 10, make a name for myself.
What about downtime? You talked about going to the lake. That's obviously you guys get some great weather down there in California. What else do you like doing? Are you watching any Netflix or doing any thing outside of the cage?
Yeah, I watch TV. I like to chill. When I'm in training camp, I don't really do a whole lot. I rest, I get my massages, I chill with my friends and just do like low key stuff, maybe go to lunch with my friends. But the majority of my days are spent going to and from the gym and just recovering in between. So like I'll go see movies. Like I went and saw Deadpool 2. That was really hilarious. Or I'll invite my friends over and we'll just hang out and just lay around and watch TV, honestly.
Well, what any TV shows you like watching right now? Anything that's got you hooked?
Yeah, there's this show called Claws,
Okay.
and it's about these women who they do nails, but they do like some really shady stuff, and it's really,
Like organized crime or something.
yeah, kind of, but it's just really entertaining. It's like really funny and kind of raunchy, and I really like comedies and outrageous shows, so it's good.
Well, this is going to be a great card. It's UFC 226 coming up here on July 7th. Jamie, it was great getting a chance to talk to you. Just remind people where they can find you on social media. And if you have any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours.
Uh, all right. What was the first thing you said?
So social media, if you want to plug any of that stuff, and then sponsors obviously is
Okay.
important.
Social media, Love Boat Jamie. Check me out on Instagram, and I am on Facebook, but not really that active. So Instagram. And shout out to Team Alpha Male, my new team, my new home. Don't really have any sponsors, but thank you UFC, thank you Reebok, thank you for having me on the show. This has been great.